Okay, so good morning, everyone. Hope you and your family are safe and taking all the required precautions against the COVID-19 outbreak. I'm Krish Matre from Rustomjee Cambridge International School, and with my teammates, we'll be presenting our research on what plagues the Mumbai police. We all know that progress and development of any city requires peace and maintenance of law and order. We can't image and enjoy the sustainability of peace and rule of law without a proper and healthy police administration. But unfortunately, those who are trying to secure society and provide the opportunity to develop us are suffering with various health problems. This research provides an overview of police regime in Mumbai and highlights key issues that affect their functioning. According to our hypothesis, we used survey as a research method to collect our data. Also, the internet and personal interview were conducted to help us and understand the situation better with a broader perspective. We found out that 50 police officers out of 80, which is 62%, were already taking medications for heart diseases, blood pressure, and diabetes. Now Yash will be taking over the rational.
Huh. So, a former IPS officer states that one of the most traumatic jobs in the world is being a policeman since there's no help or there's no mechanism provided by the government to reduce the high stress levels caused by the constant subjection of these policemen to PTSDs. One such incident was the case of an ASI who lost his life during the COVID-19 times. His health condition deteriorated at a much faster rate because he had a heart condition while he was on duty. So, yeah, Krish, could you just change the slide?
Yeah.
Go to the next slide. Yeah. So, these were the survey questions. These were the survey questions that I guess it's lagging, Krish.
Sorry.
Yeah, these were the survey questions we used to obtain info, like to in order to obtain info and to draw out our key findings. So
Yeah.
I'm just
We decided as a group to use survey as a research method as it was more reliable, quick, and an effective way for us to reach many police officers in a timely manner. The survey consisted of 15 questions, as you see here, and they include qualitative and quantitative data collection. The data gathered from online resources and data from interviews were analyzed to understand the situation better and with a broader perspective. Yeah, Yash.
so there were four main key findings we found out from the survey itself. The first was about sleep. So 86% of the police officers are not getting adequate sleep as per the norms. That is 79 hours per day, which is only 14% of the officers, as you can see from the graph, are getting. This lack of sleep leads to various health problems such as stress and hypertension. Another, like the second main finding was that 74% of the policemen have not been to a doctor for a checkup since the past 3 or more months. Due to this, most of their health problems go unnoticed since they don't have the time due to their longing shifts. Another major finding was that 81% of the police officers, Chris, just change the graph now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, 81% of the police officers spent excess time on duties and work like 11 plus hours, which in turn relates to the strenuous workload, additional hours doing the paperwork, and thus resulting in lesser times for them to rest and spend time with their families or their loved ones. So, um, and at last, the final finding was that 62% of the police officers, here's the next graph. This was a major outstanding fact that, here's the previous slide,
Okay,
please.
sorry.
Yeah, 62% police officers have problems such as thyroid, blood pressure, diabetes, heart and back problems, and hypertension. This is astounding as from such a small sample size of 80 people, 50 of them had illnesses of some or the other kind, and thus telling us how dangerous and stressful it is to be a policeman on duty. So let's move on to the conclusion.
So our hypotheses were proven to be true as we concluded that 62% of the police force, that is about 50 out of 80 survey results, working in Borivali, Dahisar and Kandivali area, suffer from various kinds of health issues such as hypertension, depression, diabetics, sleep disorders, and etc.
So, as we took the personal interviews to connect with the police officers at like higher ranks, we learned two basic principles out of it. The first was that improving police public relations, that is, like raising awareness into the public about the workloads of them, about their less space, about how their lives are, about their mental health is very important since normally we as public take the police officers as granted and maybe term them as maybe we term them as various unruly terms, but then these police officers go through a lot of mental stress, and thus improving the police public relations is a big major concern right now. Also, the second point that we learned from the personal interviews was that improving compensation and working conditions is a big need for these police officers, as this problem is gonna go on for a long time until and unless we as citizens do not help them to improve their compensation and their working conditions by writing to the government or maybe raising awareness to the public itself. So here are six key points, or here are six ideas we as a group are proposing to improve the mental and physical health of these officers. So the first is reducing two long 12-hour shifts to 3 8-hour shifts. This would this would give them time to rest more, maybe spend times with their loved ones, go to the doctor for checkups more, and have a better and healthier lifestyle. Then the second is offering a healthy meal in police station for again and better health. The third would be offering fitness facilities at police stations so that they have a better physique. Fourth is arranging frequent health checkups and awareness for a healthy lifestyle since um, majority of them didn't go to health checkups for 3 months or more. These health checkups would identify the problems or the health problems they have and would lead them to a healthy lifestyle. The fifth is introduce a better compensation plan that would give them pay raises and thus make them less worried about less pay so their mental health is supported. And the last one would be holding group bonding and stress release programs at police stations. So this could be done like once in 2 weeks where helpers or consultants could go to the police stations and thus could hold like 30-minute bonding workshops where these policemen have group exercises, um, playing sessions where they can bond with each other, get each other to know better so that their stress is released and overall they have a better mental health. Yeah. So
Yeah, and
Suhani.
this is
So this is a reflection like what we've learned from doing all this. Personally, I feel like all four of us have never really had insights to a police officer. Like as children, as teenagers, we've never really gotten the opportunity to talk to police officers or know about their lifestyles and especially know about their health, their mental health, what they go through. So I think all of us just learned like insights about them and how, and we got to know things that we never really thought about before. So that was really nice, and it was a good opportunity for us to try and be more like create, have more empathy and sympathy for them, because we've never really thought about them as in that way that they could be suffering through something. We just like given them something which is so difficult, but never really thought about how they go through that and how their families or their own selves go through that every single day for like years and years. Like for a single promotion they have to spend like years just doing one job, and that job is so difficult. So I feel like we've learned all of this, enough reflections, and we really like thought about it and tried to be more like empathetic towards
Children,
them.
I have to interrupt, but you have to now end up because in time is limit is over. Yeah.
yes, we were just
Yeah, we're
done.
done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Panelists, if you have any question.
I had one question, which is, you've made so great presentation. I mean, it's obviously a very important issue to everyone. You've made a bunch of recommendations. what part of your research actually supported these recommendations? So, how did you establish that all of these recommendations are actually gaps and things that are not happening today?
So one of the recommendations we had was that you should stop having like 12-hour shifts and instead have 3 8-hour shifts. That was actually started like when I had spoken to somebody in Daisar, he had told me, a senior investigator, that had actually happened, but because of the need of so many inspectors and everything, they couldn't go for it for a long time. So they had eventually had to stop it, and that time it was like it was months of festivals, so there were police needed everywhere for checkpoints and for certain activities, so they couldn't like continue doing that, but it was actually started. And having 12-hour shifts, that means they don't get time to have meals at proper certain times, so that affects their health as well. So we made our recommendations based on their own health, what they're going through, then their mental health, like pay for like compensation, they're not getting like, suppose like their pay, like economical issues at home, they have that stress, they need to like make sure to like solve that. Thus we've like thought about all the aspects before like recommending.
I had one question. I noticed that you all had 15 questions in your survey. Is that correct? I was
Yes.
just wondering whether the findings of all those questions have adequately been discussed or been represented. Have you all grouped questions together when you all put out your findings, or are there some which you all haven't reported?
So
So we have grouped them as in, so we just basically filtered out the 4 key findings that could relate or that exactly relate to the research question we were doing on, since the other findings were to help us or to help these 4 key findings give a
We wanted
clear
to know
conclusion
about
about
their
it.
lifestyle, so those 15
Yeah.
questions like helped us realize what lifestyle and what they go through on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So
thank
now,
you.
yeah. Can we move to last presentation?
Guys, well done. Good job. Very good
Thank you.
presentation.
Yeah, very
Thank
good
you.
job.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Sharda.
Yeah, very nice. And I really love the recommendations. Time we do something for our police personnel. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank